Few more seconds. Anresh, please go ahead.
Okay, great. So I wanted to, as part of our team, do a quick presentation on how we went about doing RAG. So I'll talk about some of the building blocks and what we ended up using in terms of technology, and then I'll do a quick show and tell as well with the web UI. So the building blocks we ended up using was, we are using Mistral 7B from Hugging Face. And there's an interesting element to that, which I kind of alluded to this morning. What I discovered is on Hugging Face, these models are constantly being updated, maybe on a weekly or a nightly basis, and they're fairly up to date. So the chances of hallucination with at least the generic questions I was trying to come up with is pretty low. So that was one interesting revelation. So then I started digging deeper and seeing, my personal interest is in NFL, or the National Football League. And I wanted to see if we could provide some corpus or articles around that, because there are so many changes on a weekly basis if people follow NFL, that the model was not hallucinating, but it was giving a more briefer answer. So that is where I brought in the RAG angle. Kashish and I, we basically built the entire pipeline, multi-model pipeline with Wikipedia. So that was all done. Standard tools we are using LangChain, we are using FAS, and then like I mentioned, we are using Hugging Face for the model. LangChain is good. I'll kind of show the code a little bit once do the web UI demo. LangChain, why it works well, I saw is they've got a very decent way to kind of change the prompt template and inject your RAG retriever into the prompt template. And that, from an engineering perspective, was pretty interesting because there are a lot of different ways you can engineer that. And RAG is going to be probably essential for anything we do with LLMs. So to be able to do that easily with LangChain, being able to pass in the context as well as the changing the prompt based on that context was pretty easy to do with LangChain. So that was that. And then just to tell the story, like I said, I built a quick Streamlit UI last night or maybe day before, where we basically use the same APIs. Just for illustration purposes, you see a checkbox at the top called RAG enabled. And that is just to kind of make sure that people understand that there is the base LLM request response coming. And then once I do that checkbox, it's a RAG enabled response. And like I said, I focused on a very small set of articles for the NFL corpus and being able to better refine the response from the LLM. So I'll take a pause there. Any questions before I move with the demo?
No, this is very good. If you could hit F11, I think it will look better and slightly increase your font size, maybe small for some people.
So a question is, I looked at the models from Hugging Face Mistral. So it hasn't been updated from October 11th. So why do you say it gets updated?
So I'll give you an example. This is what was startling. For people who are following cricket, okay, so this is interesting. Last night, for a little while, it actually gave India and Australia as the finalists for the World Cup. So now it's giving you that answer that, so I don't know. Last night I did see actually that it said India and Australia. Anyway, so yeah, so there is that scope where it's a small window though, right, Sachin? I mean, it's not huge. I think they do keep it updated, but it might be weekly or bi-weekly potentially. But last night for a short while, I was typing in this and it gave that response that India and Australia with. So
No,
you can search one more time.
search, repeat the search. That's it. Remove it and then repeat it again.
Yeah.
Temperature parameter will take.
Yeah.
What's your temperature?
I think I set it to 0.something, 2 or 3 probably.
It's too high. I mean, if you want predictability, keep it practically at 0.
Yeah, I kept it low, but it wasn't 0. I have to go back and look at the code.
You sure it wasn't your RAG?
No, it wasn't my RAG. Because my RAG has got nothing to do with cricket.
Okay.
So it's still giving the earlier response. So anyway, yeah, I did see it for
no. This time the answer is different.
Yeah,
slightly different. But what I'm trying to allude to is that it still didn't give me. So the model itself is not updated to know. It might have done a kind of a web search on the fly. I don't know. Last night when I was doing, whether it's even able to do that.
Okay. So now RAG it, and you probably
So RAG it is I kind of baked the question into so this is the response which is coming. I fed it 4 articles and I basically asked who are the players who are going to play and going to be the top contenders for fantasy football. And it came up with a pretty elaborate set of answers, which I wasn't getting pre-RAG. And that was based on these articles, based on what is going on with the fantasy football league, who are the main contenders, all of that kind of stuff. So very contextual from that perspective. And RAG essentially came back with the help of RAG, it came back with a much better response.
Yeah, anyway, just for the benefit of everyone, from the text colon in the answer, highlight the area that the RAG produced so that people can see it. No, not there. Way below. From the very bottom, you'll see the response. Yeah, right below that. Yeah.
Oh, you mean this, right?
Yeah. This is the question and answer here, right?
Yeah. So this is This is the question, and then this is the answer based on that. And as you can see, it's very verbose in the way it's answering that based on RAG. So that was the big takeaway for me. And of course, we can expand on it and have as many of these use cases to kind of go through. But as you can see, it takes the question, and pre-RAG, it wasn't as verbose, or it didn't know. It didn't say it didn't know, but it didn't have a very verbose answer.
It also gives documented metadata.
Yeah, that is part of the context which I pass in. So I passed in that context, and that is what I was meant when LangChain basically changed these together. Whatever metadata and the source and the context, all of that comes together when it does the response. Any questions?
No, this is good. You wanted to show something with the Hugging Face.
Yeah, so let me just quickly talk through stuff. The code, like I said, I'm using Mistral, and I need to go look at the temperature. Yeah, so right there, it's 0.2.
Okay.
So yeah, so maybe playing around with that, and we could maybe generate a better response. These are the articles I'm feeding in, doing an async load in, and then fast to generate the embeddings.
No, we're not able to see
the code. We are not seeing the code.
Oh, I thought I was sharing my screen. Just give me 1 sec. Sorry. Okay. Are you able to now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. So I was just talking about this. The temperature is 0.2. And then I'm doing an async load of these articles. And then using face, I think pretty standard stuff everybody's using now. And then when I build that retriever for RAG, this is what I meant. LangChain basically gives you that prompt, and you can use the LLM chain to tie the prompt to the LLM. And that's where you can basically put in the RAG chain and basically change the retriever to whatever you want, including passing in the context, question, whatever. So those are the two more important things, as you can see, the context and the question. And based on that, I have that checkbox, but basically I send the response back, whether it's the native LLM response or it's a RAG-induced response.
Very nice.
That's kind of the quick this thing. We're obviously going to build on it. We want to make RAG as general purpose, and we have the pipeline and all of that stuff all set up now. And the next part of it is obviously the final project where we need to use these pieces as well.
Nice. Hey, thanks. Yeah, this is really very good. And
thank you.
Great effort. So you're pretty close to you have a lead on doing the final project, right? The competition.
Well, the embeddings part is not this thing. I think the fine tuning, just like everybody else, we need to figure that part out. And I think that probably is going to be the more complicated piece, somewhat complicated piece we'll have to deal with. But everything else, I think we have most of the elements in place. So it's just.
So I'll give you a hint. Do the easy parts first, like do without fine tuning.
Yeah.
Do the thing with voice cloning, do the RAG and RAG, and then feed the RAG into the voice cloner. And you will at least get the skeleton of the project in place. And then start the two opportunities of fine tuning.
Absolutely.
What do you suggest that we use for voice cloning? 11 labs?
Yeah, 11 labs is good. It's a $1 per month for the first month. Remember to cancel it if you're not going to use it later. Unfortunately, at this moment, the open source world, things are a bit more chaotic. We don't have a good open source voice cloner. There are lots of papers, but it hasn't really come out yet. So maturely. Praveen will know. Praveen, do you know of anything else that is mature on the voice cloning side? Now, voice cloning at this moment is still one of the peculiar things that you have to pay for.
I don't know whether Llama has advanced enough. I need to do a little bit more research whether Llama has come up with something. Because Llama is the closest to open source with some of these things, right?
Right. No, for voice, right, you're looking at Whisper and its derivatives. Whisper CPP has voice, but it doesn't have voice cloning. It has just 5 or 6 voice personalities to use.
Was it Praveen or someone saying Llama CPP? So maybe
Whisper CPP.
Yeah, Whisper CPP. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think we have most of these pieces. We'll have to put it together, and hopefully we'll have more than an army of one this time. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, this is very impressive that more or less the project has dwindled down to just you and you still pulled it off.
Well, I plan to help him now.
Nice, Asmi, jump in.
Now that my Stanford course is over, today is my last day for submission. That's why I stayed back home.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That's all, Asif, from me.
Nice. Nice, guys. So, guys, I know that you all have different commitments, but take this competition seriously. You'll learn a lot. You're building a real project.